What's going on, guys? This is Destiny Heroic, and I'm back again to talk about my latest deck profile. This is Link Joker Messiah, based around this guy, Alter Ego Messiah, in combination with Neon Messiah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about how I built the deck and certain combos that I try to pull off in the deck, which make it a little bit more distinct from other people's approaches to this deck. So obviously, our starter is Neo Messiah. When he's unlocked, put him in the soul and search for an Alter Ego Messiah or any grade 3 card with Messiah in its name. There's only one at the moment, but that could change in the future. But yeah, so in terms of grade 3s, obviously we've got 4 of the Alter Ego Messiahs. When you stride, counterblast 1 and lock a unit on both sides. And then as a G-Break 2, when a unit unlocks that he sees, Soul Blast 1 and draw a card per unlocked card. And the other grade 3 is Lady Gunner of the Neutron Star. I like this because it has a locking effect that it fuels the Messiah deck goal, which is having cards on your side locked to be unlocked, and then having cards on your opponent's side be locked to stay locked on their turn. This does both. When you play it on Rearguard or Vanguard at G-Break 1, you lock one card on your side and one card on their side. So for grade 2s, actually I'm going to go with the grade 1s first. So I've got 4 perfect cards. Damage on flip support is pretty useful in this deck, so we're going with these perfect cards. Stride support, 4 copies of Stride support because it's a stride themed deck, so we want to stride pretty much every turn where it's possible. 4 Dark Metal Chameleons, additional counter charge support. This guy's got resist, so he's going to stay on the field probably as long as possible. And this is one of the cards we want to lock with our stride or with this. To be unlocked during the turn or even at the end of the turn to unflip the damage. And finally, for grade 1s, I'm using 3 copies of Lady Battler of the White Dwarf. When it boosts a unit, unlock one card on your field and then give the boosted unit 4k. This is pretty useful with the main combo in the deck that I'm about to talk about. So I'll just leave this right here. In terms of grade 2s, 4 copies of Lady Battler of the Gravity Well. This is absolutely essential to this deck because it locks one card on your side of the field. And in order for your bigger guns to work, you need to have cards locked on your side. So this is lock a rear guard on your side of the field other than this, and then this card gets 4,000 for the turn. And for other grade 2s, I'm using Awakening Messiah, 3 copies. This is the card I wanted to exploit the most in this deck. Running it at 4 is a little bit overkill because you really only need to have 1 on the field at a time. So I'm only using 3 copies. 3 copies of Blast Monk of the Thundering Foot. It's basically the same effect as Lady of the White Dwarf. Except it's a grade 2 and it has to be the attacking one. So you choose a card and unlock it, and it gains 4k. And to round out the grade 2s, a single copy of Sunset Edge Duskblade. I'm only using 1 copy because with the effects of your Messiah cards and your other cards, including the Lady of the Gravity Well, you're going to be locking her back row a lot. And this guy needs a boost in order to use his effect, and it uses a counterblast, so he's not going to be a card you're going to be depending on a lot, but he can lock cards on your opponent's side, which can limit their combo availability. So that's the grade 2 lineup. And the combo that you really want to get away with here is exploiting this card. So let me just put together a quick scenario here. You have this in the back row, this in front of it, and then you have something like this, and we'll have your Vanguard here. Assume you're not on a stride yet. You have something like this, and then a Chameleon here. So what you would do is you would use this to lock the Messiah to give it +4, and then you could either swing with this, unlocking this to stand that, or what is probably better is swing with that, swing with this, use this to unlock the Messiah and stand this, and then your drive check, if they null it or whatever, you can put it here or here. So that's basically the combo we want to do. And this actually, the White Dwarf lets you play the Awakening Messiah in the front row. So if you have something like this, let's say we have this field, you would again use this to lock this card, and you would swing with that, and then you would swing with this. This would unlock this card, and that would stand. So basically, it would stand in game 2, and then you do your drive check, and then you'd have an additional attack, and then that attack. So basically, we're exploiting Awakening Messiah to increase the number of attacks that we can do. You don't hit particularly high numbers, but if Aqua Force is any indication, you don't need to hit high numbers. You just need to hit a lot of attacks in order to hit your victory condition. So moving on to the trigger lineups, there's nothing particularly special here. 8 crits, 4 draws. I'm using the draw that goes into the soul to fuel your G-Break 2 of Alter Ego Messiah, and obviously 4 heals. And for the grade 4 lineup, there's a little bit of variability here that you can play with, but my grade 4 lineup is 2 Judgment Messiah. When he hits the Vanguard, lock a card in your opponent's back row, and then you can choose to unlock a card on your field, or you can choose to unlock a card on the field anywhere on both sides. Normally you would want to unlock like something like this, so that you could use its ability, or an Awakening Messiah to stand something. But the unlock part is optional, so we don't really need to worry about that too much. But again, it's a way of locking additional cards on your opponent's side, and we want to leave them with as many locked cards as possible. And to that end, 4 copies of Big Crunch Dragon. This will Omega Lock a column for a Counterblast of 1 and a Persona Flip. So having that increases the number of lock cards on your opponent's side, and that fuels our next card, which is 2 copies of Amnesty Messiah. This is probably your big finishing card. Counterblast 1 when it attacks, and unlock any number of cards on the field. And then if you unlock 3, it gains a crit. It gains 3k for every card unlocked. So basically you want to have a lot of cards locked on your opponent's side and a few on yours, so that you unlock all of yours on your side, and then maybe one that they can't use on the opponent's side, like a back row card from the column that you Omega locked. So the game will basically run like this will be your first stride, then you'll go into Big Crunch, then you'll go into Amnesty, then you'll do Big Crunch again, then you do another Amnesty. The wild card spot is actually the second Judgment Messiah spot. You could easily put anything in the spot that's available. You could put a 3rd Amnesty Messiah. I don't actually own a 3rd, so I'm using this. Or when the next set 5 comes out, you could use an Exilix Messiah in this spot. That's what I plan on doing. To Persona Flip Amnesty Messiahs, and not only unlock cards and gain crits, but also retire your opponent's cards. So that's the deck in a nutshell. Like I said, I've tried to build it around adding additional attacks by exploiting Awakening Messiah. A lot of people think that this card is not very good, and opt instead to go for more copies of Duskblade. But I find Duskblade uses up your Counterblast really fast, and unless you max out on Chameleons, Dark Metal Chameleons, then you're going to run out of Counterblast, and then your Amnesty Messiah you can't use by the time you're able to ride it and unlock a good amount of cards. So again, that's the deck. Let me know what you think in the comments, and thanks for watching. Peace.